Cowboy, making your ideas a reality.
Hi guys, this is Alexander from Solar Leather Machines, and I wanted to introduce to you the CB-10 10-ton clicking machine. This is going to be a kind of a down and dirty example of this machine because I wanted you to get a real feel for how this machine works. So to go over the features real quick here, the machine is about 5 foot tall from the base of the feet. It is 31 inches deep and it's about 32 inches wide. Okay, so getting it in through a normal door is going to prove a little problematic. You might actually want to consider moving up to our CB-16, which actually will fit inside a 30-inch door. It's not quite as deep. Comes in this beautiful blue color, has these different controls including stroke setting, power indicator, and of course on-off switch here. The stroke adjustment is from 5 millimeters down to 65, so you can dial it in. You don't have to change the ride height of the clicker, but you can do it down here, so you can have different cutting dies of different sizes and carefully adjust it to get where you want without having to adjust the overall set point of the machine. The machine comes set up with 220 single phase, which is standard for us, but normally most people will ask you to pay a couple $100 more for that. It's not a cheap upgrade. But we do provide it as normal for our machines because most of our customers will actually work with holsters, purses, that type of a piece of equipment, and many times it goes into your garage. Same power source that you can use as your dryer. You can actually plug it into your dryer supply and run it out of there. We have several customers who do that. Okay, so to keep this short, we're just going to go right into it. We're going to start the machine up. Okay, now notice that this machine has got two handles up here. It's an important safety consideration. You don't want to have one hand over here and accidentally cut it. So, you always want to make sure whatever machine you have is two handles. This is two micro switches. Now notice I'm just going to touch them, and there it goes. Okay, I'm not forcing it, I'm not manipulating it, I'm not manhandling it. Very easy, easy peasy. Swings all the way around, okay? Why would you want to do this? Well, if you got a big die, you might want to hit it over here and then hit it over here to cover both sides of the die. Now, to answer the question you're already asking, this cutting bed is 30.5 inches long and 16 inches deep. Okay? So, what you do is you put your die on here and you'll swing over, you'll click it and cut it. Okay? And that's what we're going to do right now. Okay? So I'm going to swing this head out of the way. I'm going to grab some leather and a cutting die. So here's some leather, and I'm going to grab a cutting die. Okay, so this is a cutting die. We're going to pick some daisies here. We've got about 4 ounce upholstery leather. This is pretty tough stuff. It's tough to work with, tough to cut evenly. But we're going to pick a few daisies here now, okay? So I'm going to pull it into the center. I like to work in the center. Always going to watch my fingers, make sure things are safe. And of course, with a clicker die, you can always make sure that you're taking as much material as possible, okay? We're going to bring it over carefully, and we're going to click it. Just like that. There you go. Maybe didn't cut quite through, so we're going to add maybe a millimeter or so more to the cut. There we go. And now we're going to go for another one. And I'm going to look right down on here, get it as close as possible. There we go. Perfect. Now, do we have to pull them out every time we cut? No, we don't. We can actually hit 1, 2, 3. So I cut 3 at a time before I had to pause to pull them out. Okay, so that's very normal. That's upholstery leather. This is typically the type of leather that you're going to work with when you work with handbags and shoulder bags, this type of stuff. Okay. Okay. So we just did the purple upholstery leather. Now we're going to do a little bit different type. This is your standard jack leather. Looks to be some type of English bridal quality leather. It's about 4 ounces or so. And we're going to maybe cut some bracelets out of this. So I'm going to take the daisy cutter away, and we're going to bring a bracelet cutter. This is a standard bracelet cutter, okay? And it's about 5 or 6 inches long, and the die is about 1.25 inches deep. So one we had around in the shop, just thought we'd use it. Okay, swing it over, one. Just like that, nice and clean. Do you see how sharp and clean those edges are? Man, that's hard to do any other way. Even a laser can't do that. And I know because I have one. Okay, so this thing cuts these really, really well. This is a 10-ton clicker, right? And so a lot of people say a 10-ton clicker won't do it for you. Well, you know, it depends on the size of your project. It really does. If you're doing small stuff like this, well, as you can see, it works just fine. So these could be some bracelets or different parts for your purses or whatever a small piece would be, okay? And maybe an accent for your purse, your handbag, or even wallet or tassels, or if you're making one of those over-the-shoulder duck holder things, you know, where hunters use them to carry their quarry away. So something like that might be good. All right, so we're going to move on to the next type of leather. Go ahead and stop it there. Okay, so next type of leather here, we're just going to have a standard, another bracelet type of die, and then this is English bridle, a little bit stiffer leather, not a whole lot, about 4 ounces. We'll get to some thick leather here in just a second, but wanted to show you that this works just as well here. No problem on that, right? So maybe that's a reinforcement for maybe a boot piece. Maybe you're doing custom shoes or something like that, right? Maybe you're doing little trinkets at the fair that the kids like. That's great. You know, you can always make good money. You know, you'd be surprised if you charge $3 a pop. What's it cost for this type of leather? I mean, each one of these may cost 80 cents or so. You know, but if you're charging $3, will they pay it? Well, you never know. They might, and if they do, what's that? 3 plus 3. You know, you're looking at $18 now. So that's pretty good. All right, so this is another one. Let's go on to the heavier leather. Go ahead and stop it. Okay, right before we get on to the heavier leather, what we're going to do is we're going to use this little phone case die, and I want you to see the machine cutting out, you know, kind of a practical lap die, something that you would actually use and sell, maybe sew on later on. So something like this, we're just going to swing it over. There we go. Look at that. Now that is a moldable, sewable phone case right there. I mean, how fast is that? That's great. Okay, but that's not the real test, right? Let's see it on thick leather. Hold on just a second. Now, we've got some 10 to 11 ounce latigo here. Really, really creamy latigo. Feels nice. So, would you make a phone case out of this? Not likely, but we're doing it to prove a point, right? So, goes right there. Okay, swing the head over, and there we go. Look at that. Look at that. Just cuts it like butter. That's 10 tons and a nice sharp die here. So as far as you know, this machine doing light work of your projects, man, it's got your number. You let me know what you think of it. But I tell you, we sell a lot of these. They're very popular. It's the Cowboy CB-10 10-ton clicker machine. Retails for $29.95. And what else? Shipping is a little bit extra. Give us a holler. Sometimes if you pick it up in the shop, there's no shipping charges. And give us a call, 817-366-8105. You're talking to Alexander from Solar Leather. Our website is www.solar-leather.com. Thanks a lot.